My name is Taub. For this project, I was reporting on a war crimes investigation that's been happening discreetly in Syria over the last 4.5 years. The systematic torture and murder of tens of thousands of people is sort of a widely known fact about what's been happening in Syria since the beginning of the insurrection. I encountered this issue first by just following the war, but felt as though the sort of new information was that not just that these crimes were occurring, but that there was a group that was collecting the evidence, the physical evidence that could actually serve in a trial. Because witness testimony doesn't necessarily prove individual criminal responsibility. The narrative challenge was, how do you trace this criminality in a way that works for a story? So it's not just looking at the system, but then after explaining how this system of oppression functions, tracing it onto a representative victim. I found someone in the Netherlands, a Syrian who had been tortured and had suffered immeasurably within detention facilities in Deir ez-Zor province and in Damascus, and whose experience happened to reflect large databases of evidence that had already been collected. I didn't meet him until I had already gone through the case. When he was telling me about the specific torture methods that were used on him, those were specific torture methods that I'd already seen having been used on hundreds of other people. And he's really a very strong person, who really went through hell. At this point, the International Criminal Court doesn't have the authority to investigate or prosecute crimes committed in Syria, owing to geopolitical hurdles. But what this group has done is they've collected the evidence that might otherwise have been destroyed while the conflict was ongoing, potentially saving years off of an investigation that would ordinarily begin when the conflict is over. And so when the geopolitical situation changes enough that there is a call for justice, and some court has the authority to prosecute these crimes, this group, the Commission for International Justice and Accountability, can hand over its evidence and prosecutions can begin immediately. When I began this project, I didn't know how long it would take, and I didn't know where the evidence would lead, but I couldn't let go of it, and I'm incredibly grateful to the Pulitzer Center for allowing me the freedom and time and making it possible for me to pursue this fully to the extent that it needed to be told.